We're underway on BBC Radio Newcastle and the Newcastle United website and app. United shooting towards the right-hand side. Leicester from the kickoff with Vardy, a shot pushed past the post near side by Nick Pope after 12 seconds. Well, Leicester might be struggling, but anything can happen. Long ball forward, headed on by Ndidi. Vardy on the half volley. Pope down low with his left hand to push it past the post at the near side for a corner.
Yeah, just straightforward, wasn't it? Keeper went long, flicked on. Vardy got in behind, took it nice and early. Nick Pope taking no chances.
Leicester all in blue. And here comes an outswinging corner just in front of the Newcastle away section towards the penalty spot. Dan Burn diving header into midfield, collected by the home side, and here's Christensen, the blonde-haired wing back to Thomas on halfway. Christensen again on the diagonal. Livramento giving Burn a shout and communicating with Pope.
Poor ball, wasn't it?
And they watched that one roll behind.
Yeah, poor ball.
Well, that would have been an early upset if Leicester had scored from that Vardy effort. Newcastle restart the match. 90 seconds gone. Pope to share. Up the line towards Murphy. Thomas's header goes backwards. The experienced Cody with a header into midfield. Bruno and Murphy for Newcastle. Now Bruno stands on the ball, then wins a block challenge with Ndidi. Bruno just wanted it more. Joe Linton clipped out to the left wing. Here's Harvey Barnes. Livramento on the overlap, gets it from Barnes's ball. Livramento's cross. Murphy scores. Jacob Murphy at the back post from Livramento's cross. Newcastle played it through midfield, went up the left side, and Jacob Murphy with a tap in just next to the post. Leicester almost scored in the opening minute. Newcastle have scored in the second minute. It's Jacob Murphy with his 7th of the season. Leicester City 0, Newcastle United 1.
Just so simple, wasn't it? All comes about because indeed he didn't want it, did he? Pulled out with a tackle with Guimaraes, and from that minute on they were in big trouble. Livramento on the overlap, great ball back post. Simple goal.
Christensen's tried to get back, but he's not. I think he's lost Murphy, hasn't he? Because the ball goes across him.
Difficult ball to defend against, though, to be fair. Heading back towards your own goal. Great ball whipped in by Livramento with his left foot.
And already unease and upset in the Leicester City sections. It's not full tonight, a point we've made, but the match is 3 minutes old, and particularly to our left-hand side in the corner, under a hospitality area called the Gallery, there are a lot of empty blue seats, and it's a vocal visiting section that is providing the atmosphere after Jacob Murphy provided the goal to get Newcastle in front. Pope leaves his box to thump a ball up the pitch. Bruno in the middle of midfield to Livramento. At the start of our Total Sport programme tonight on BBC Radio Newcastle, we listened to Eddie Howe talking about Tino Livramento, and he said he thinks he attacks better up the left.
Yeah.
And there's another classic example. He's created a goal.
Yeah.
And it was a cross with his left foot, which obviously helped Murphy set up Isak at Wembley as well. Here's Thomas for Leicester. Livramento with a clearance with his right foot, dealing with the danger as far as Boubakary Soumare in midfield. Bilal El Khanous for Leicester. Floated cross in. Goal kick. Leicester 0, Newcastle 1. 4.5 minutes played.
Yeah, just the start you wanted, wasn't it? We spoke about getting an early goal.
Wout Faes for Leicester into midfield. Ndidi back to the curly-haired Belgian defender, James Justin. Inside to Faes. Leicester with possession at the back. Cody starts to bring it forwards. Isak chasing. Thomas here in behind, Cher watching it. Pope leaves his box to sweep up and stick the ball into the stand. Christensen delayed
why didn't he
throw.
go early?
Well, the
Why
net,
didn't he just lob it in there?
the net was unguarded. Christensen then, rather than take a quick throw, held on to the ball, and they've left it for Thomas. They're sending the centre-backs forward, so maybe he's got a long throw on him. See if this decision not to go quickly and try and catch Newcastle out works. It's Cher with a header. Last touch was off a blue shirt, goal kick.
Flat throw in, wasn't it? Came off a blue shirt. Bourne just ushers it out.
Well, they're going through the Newcastle United songbook on the far side, and some really glum expressions on the faces of Leicester City supporters. 1-0 through Murphy's goal. He's beaten in the air by Thomas, who was on his back. Newcastle have the ball with Tanali in midfield. That might be the first time he's touched it. Up to Isak, who's peeled off onto this near side. Barnes free on the left. Isak picks out Barnes, edge of the area. Harvey Barnes onto his right. A back heel towards Livramento, but it's intercepted by Justin. And then Livramento blocks the Leicester clearance and can't keep it in with his next touch. It's a Leicester throw at the right side of defence. United have it again, on by Joelinton, out for another Leicester ball. They scored early here in their last meeting with Leicester in the East Midlands. Do you remember Boxing Day 2022? Yeah. Chris Wood smashed home an early penalty. Takes a good penalty, Chris Wood. Gave Newcastle a lead. Almiron scored. Joelinton as well. 3-0 win. 1-0 early on tonight. Christensen for Leicester, who've sent it forwards. And El Kanous here, long sleeves and gloves for the Moroccan international. Thomas out to El Kanous again. Wide left. 30 yards from Newcastle's goal. Kanous puts his foot on the ball, passes and moves. Thomas back to Cody, and Sumare now to Fass on halfway. Moving it around well enough, Leicester. El Kanous drops his shoulder, tries to get away from Bruno, clips a ball, and inviting one to Justin on the far side. Now Daka in the middle, and Newcastle have survived, partly because they blocked the cross, but also the referee's whistle has gone. But that was a promising situation for the home side. They just couldn't pick anybody out with the cross.
Yeah, spread it wide well, didn't he? Little pull back. It's a fresh air shot, and he just catches Dan Bourne, doesn't he, as he swings.
Indeed, he's ball
Nothing malicious in it. He just swings, and big Dan Bourne just happens to be stood there.
Yeah, Daka got none of the ball, but a bit of the big man. 9 minutes. Newcastle 1-0 up. Pope now along the floor, out to Livramento, inside to Tanali, left side of central midfield, back to Livramento. Here he goes. Barnes up the line, found by Livramento. More positive play from fullback, and Barnes trying to go on the outside of Fass, who makes a challenge. Barnes then wins it back. It's a good battle. Both players going at it, and then the whistle goes because Joelinton gets involved in typical Joelinton fashion.
Yeah, just jumps all over him.
Got 14 without scoring, Harvey Barnes. As fans sing "Say Hello to Sunderland" to the Leicester supporters. Sunderland might be coming up. Certain to be in the playoffs, aren't they? You would think. Who knows what the end of season will bring. Well, just as we covered Newcastle's League Cup triumph and trophy celebrations in depth, we will doing the same with Sunderland as their season reaches its conclusion. Here's Fabian Schär, goalkeeper's off his line, Scher's gone to chip him, oh, he's hit the bar, Murphy on the follow-up, scores! Jacob Murphy scores, his second of the night, but Fabian Schär gets, well, not so much congratulations, but credit for his technical ability and his vision, and he almost scored a wonder goal. The keeper, Mads Hermansson, was miles off his line. He was nowhere, and Schär went to chip him. It came down, but it clipped the top of the crossbar. Jacob Murphy following up has doubled Newcastle's lead. Schär was inside his own half by a couple of paces. Off the bar, Murphy penalty spot, couple of touches, and into the back of the net. So Murphy is the goal scorer, but Fabian Schär, that was outrageous. It's Leicester City 0, Newcastle United 2.
What's the goalkeeper doing? Why is the goalkeeper out there? I mean, it's great technique by Schär, he's so unlucky. But it's a shambles, it's a total shambles from Leicester.
Tonali in the left corner defending, and Ndidi with him. Tonali up the line, Leicester win it back. Opportunity for Patson Daka to cross, and he does. And Schär defending, doing very well, getting his boot in the way. Now Trippier knocks it one side of Christensen, goes the other. Try to play Isak in behind. What a night Jacob Murphy's having. He's moved on to 8 goals this season, with his early double. We're in the 12th minute. It would have been one of the all-time classic goals if Fabian Schär had scored that. Almost scored from inside his own half. Hit the crossbar, came down, finished off by Murphy. It might as well be a home fixture with the atmosphere.
Oh, they've lost it
Bilal
again.
El Khanous dispossessed in central midfield. Tonali, this is Isak in the area. Isak hits the side netting, wants a corner, doesn't get it. Found for the first time in an attacking position from the pass, and then edge of the box, right hand side, after Tonali and Bruno combined to win it back. Tonali's pass, Isak, great first touch, tight area, set himself up, but side netting.
Yeah, if Leicester aren't careful, this could end up being very, very embarrassing.
When I was looking at the players' individual records and career histories, Ando, Luke Thomas playing for Leicester, left centre-back tonight. He was on loan to Sheffield United last season and played in the 8-0.
Yeah, I bet he's got good memories of that.
Well, on the early evidence, he might be playing in another heavy defeat at the hands of Newcastle United. Dan Burn, header clear from the middle of the United half. Joe Linton to Livramento, who is tripped there by Ndidi and gets a yellow card, and quite rightly, from Rob Jones. Leicester 0, Newcastle 2. Jacob Murphy, the double goal scorer. I wonder what price you'd have got on Murphy to get a hat-trick tonight. Very short odds for Isak.
Yeah, you got. I would imagine you'd have got decent odds on Murphy getting a hat trick. You wouldn't rule it out, would you?
No. Free kick on the far side, about 40 yards from the goal. Played infield by Barnes. Livramento to Trippier, driven into the area, but caught by Hermansson, who kicks from his hands out to the left wing for Leicester, this near side. El Khanous taking on Livramento and Murphy, and he ran out of space, ran the ball off the pitch. They throw it Newcastle to Bruno, and now Burn. An unchanged United team, despite social media speculation. Isak fit and starting. Back to Pope, and now Schär with the ball. Trippier to share at the edge of the penalty area. Burns got an option short. Barnes, who dropped in behind halfway, but he goes inside to share. And now Trippier close to halfway on the near side, looking for Bruno, cut out by Boubakary Soumaré in midfield for Leicester. Hermansen near to the penalty spot, the goalkeeper. Driven ball towards Daka, header inside, Joelinton covering, beats Vardy to it. Livramento now on his way inside towards Barnes. Leicester win it back from the Livramento pass, and Daka straight to Tonali. And the home fans in front of us are on their feet, throwing their arms around, angry with the way they cheaply gave possession back to Newcastle. Tonali saw Isak was making a move, didn't release the ball and then apologised. They've got it in central midfield now with Bruno. Trippier just to the right. Tonali here back to Bruno. In front of the halfway line. Inside it comes to Burn. Every Leicester player behind it. Burn to the right to Shared. Forwards to Bruno. Good movement from Newcastle. Isak peeling away right hand side. It's up to Joelinton in the centre. Now Tonali looks for Isak, who drags it back and helps it on to Tonali. Lovely skill. Back inside to Isak. Fast comes across and makes a block challenge. Leicester 0, Newcastle 2 on BBC Radio Newcastle. And Daka to Justin. And now Wilfred Ndidi, the Nigerian international, in the middle of midfield. Plays it to Cody at the heart of the back three. Ruud van Nistelrooy, smartly dressed in dark colours, moving across his technical area as Eddie Howe watches on pitch side for Newcastle, hands behind his back. Long ball towards Ndidi, who'd gone out to the right wing. Newcastle throw. 18th minute, 2-0, and Leicester had the first shot through Vardy after 12 seconds, but it's incredibly comfortable, John Anderson.
Very comfortable, yeah. I mean, into the 18th minute, 2-0 up, and as I said earlier, this could get really messy for Leicester.
They've had the Isak shot since Murphy made it 2-0. Share. It's from about that position that he hit the crossbar in his own half. Diagonal ball to the left wing. Livramento for Harvey Barnes. Up the line for Livramento. No offside flag. Back to Barnes, close to the corner of the area. Cross takes a deflection. El Khanous heads away. Cries of shoot for Share. It's too far forwards. He was in the Leicester half of the pitch. Murphy back to Trippier. Now Share. Every time he gets it, they're going to shout shoot, aren't they? Burn to Barnes. Heavy touch inside. He's lost it. Giving it back to one of his former teammates, Ndidi. Now El Khanous, dispossessed by Bruno.
Dear, oh dear.
He keeps giving it away. Bilal El Khanous, £21 million signing from Genk last summer in Belgium. Trippier to Bruno, looking for Murphy. Cody read that, intercepts, and Christensen up the left wing. Dangerous cross, and Livramento, it's gone back to the goalkeeper off his thigh. It's unintentional. Pug picked it up and then rolls it out to Livramento on the left touchline, approaching halfway. Tonali here, bright orange boots. Back to Share with mint green boots. Trippier to Murphy, put out by Christensen on the near side. Jason Tindall walks to the side of the pitch, has a word with Jacob Murphy. Newcastle throw, 2-0 lead. Goal difference, we said earlier, Ando, could be important. There was 7 behind Chelsea at the start of tonight. It's now 5 behind thanks to Murphy's 2 goals. With full respect to Leicester, Newcastle, not only do they want to win, it would be useful for them to try to win big. Every goal might count. It's so tight and competitive, the race for any European football through the league. Trippier with an interception on halfway, gets it back from Tonali, under pressure from Christensen, back to the Italian, who's being fouled. Referees let it go. Newcastle had it through Murphy, then they lose it, then Trippier wins it.
They just can't keep it, can they?
From a Leicester through ball, and Pope to Livramento. And now Cher. Trippier looking to clip one up the line, out off Thomas. And the defender who's at his hometown club, he's from Leicestershire. Trippier takes the throw on the angle to Isak, lets it bounce and lets it run, then inside to Joelinton. Barnes free, it finds Harvey Barnes. The pass from Joelinton though was slightly behind him. Harvey Barnes on the outside taking on Ndidi. Support from Joelinton in the wide position. Now Livramento and inside to Tonali, 30 yards out, clipped into the area towards Trippier. Christensen's header away, El Khanous on his chest. Given away again by El Khanous. Joelinton for Bruno, and now Barnes in the area. Harvey Barnes, a deflection takes it wide of the near side of goal. Close from Barnes on his return to the King Power Stadium.
Big chance. Cody got across, hit him on the back. That's heading into the top corner if it doesn't come off Cody's back. But Leicester just shoot themselves in the foot all the time, don't they? Ndidi again, just not strong enough.
It's a great recovery from Cody to divert the ball behind. 22nd minute, Newcastle's first corner, looking to add to their advantage. Harvey Barnes takes the corner, he's given it straight. It's the second time he's given it to Patson Daka. Played it straight to Daka when he was looking for Livramento. He's helped Newcastle win it back, in fairness, from guess who? El Khanous again. Now he wants a free kick. Barnes dispossessed by El Khanous. Nothing given. Leicester with the ball far side of the pitch. El Khanous loses it once more. Livramento on to Barnes. Livramento in the centre. Still got it. Takes the shot on. Blocked by a combination of Leicester players. Murphy for Livramento here on the right hand side. Tonali digs out a cross. Barnes header down for Isak. Back to goal, edge of the area, through for Joelinton, and they can't combine, and it's brought away by Patson Daka, the Zambian international. Pacey forward up the right wing, gets 10 yards into the Newcastle half and plays it straight back to Justin, to the annoyance of the home supporters. Still 2-0 to Newcastle midway through the first half. Cody's floated ball, header on by Justin, Burn to Joelinton. Murphy making tracks up the pitch, it's with Bruno. Murphy pulls out wide right. Newcastle keep the ball in the centre. Bruno to Tonali, now Trippier. Murphy drops in, Isak in the centre, in between Fass and Cody, just behind the centre circle, or just in front of it from an attacking perspective. Barnes now chipping it in behind for Isak. Fass heads it away, just into Ndidi. They've given it away a lot, Leicester. To be fair, they've had a reasonable amount of possession, but they've been poor with much of it. Here's a decent burst from Daka, using that pace, and he wants a free kick. Referee Rob Jones says no, says it's a dive, as Tonali tried to win it. 5 yards from the Newcastle box.
If it's a dive, he should book him.
Home fans not too happy. Daka just accepts it and gets up, which might tell you enough.
The referee wasn't having any of it,
but it was a good burst.
Yeah, it opened up for him, didn't it?
Trippier to Murphy on halfway, takes it back with his first touch, gives it to Trippier. Tonali inside. It's instead back to Cher, into the box to Nick Pope, closed down by Jamie Vardy. Pope caught by Vardy after he released the ball. Referee tells everybody to calm down. Free kick for Newcastle United. Well, they put together, John Anderson, a great move for the first goal. The second was an unbelievable attempt from Fabian Schär that hit the Leicester bar. The shot from inside his own half over the keeper. Murphy put the rebound in. What about the rest of Newcastle's player and the opportunity to increase the lead?
To be very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. Oh, they've given it away again.
Boubakary Soumaré straight to Sandro Tonali. And you're still of the belief that they can win by a big margin?
Yeah. Leicester just can't keep the ball.
Oh, Bruno's giving Cody the slip. They might be in here. Bruno, right side of central midfield. Good recovery.
Just hasn't got the legs to get away, has he?
By Boubakary Soumaré. In fairness to him, the French midfielder, but dear me, Cody got done by Bruno there. Cody's back in the game, edge of his own box, receives it from Thomas, plays it back to Thomas. It's passing to midfield to Daka, laid off to Ndidi. Now they've got a man free on the right. It's Justin. Middle of Newcastle's half. James Justin for Leicester. El Khanous sweeps it out to Christensen. Left-footed cross stopped by Tonali. Trippier trying to prevent a corner, and he's played it off Christensen. The referee's
Tell you what,
given a corner kick.
He's had 3 or 4 opportunities, Christensen, on this left-hand side, and his ball every time has been absolutely awful.
Well, we need to see that again, but Trippier believes the last touch was off the Leicester player. So instead, a corner. Over goes Bilal El Khanous, who's had a tough night so far. Plays a short corner to Luke Thomas, and he attempts to cross with his left. Harvey Barnes deflects it behind, and El Khanous is going to leave this one for Thomas.
Doesn't want to take it, does he?
Every white and green Newcastle shirt in the penalty area to defend. Leicester have kept 3 outside the box, fearful of the pacey counter-attack. Newcastle 2-0 up. Thomas's corner. Dan Burn header up. Hasn't cleared the penalty box. Trippier's header does. This is El Khanous. Slips it through for Ndidi. Twisting and turning. Out to the corner again to Thomas. Charged down by Murphy. It's a throw this time next to the corner flag. 28th minute. Jacob Murphy with both of Newcastle's goals. Thomas flat throw towards the near post. Trippier header. Back to the defender. Edge of the box. El Khanous now back to Soumaré. Oh, that's a misplaced pass. It's away from Justin, but it wasn't close enough for Barnes. Justin's chip into the box, caught, picked up by Pope. They want to play quickly. Pope, big throw over arm from left to right to Trippier. Galloping forwards. Foot on the ball, slows it down, back to Schär. Leicester get into position. All behind the ball. Wilson, Longstaff and Target warming up. Fabian Schär here, left-footed pass, looking for Murphy over the top, brought down by Thomas, and Fass plays it to Ndidi, gets it back again. Now Soumaré in the middle of Leicester's midfield. They've probably had more possession, Leicester. Trippier wins it now from Christensen, who recovers with a fair challenge. Cody, edge of the box to Thomas. And Victor Christensen, forwards he goes, switches the play, misses out Vardy in the middle, Livramento with it. Here goes Livramento, back to Barnes, takes it into the Newcastle half, and they have it with Dan Burn. Now Fabian Schär just signed that 1-year extension to his contract, so he'll be at Newcastle until at least next summer. Tonali to Murphy, now Bruno on halfway. Oh, they're free. Livramento completely free, far side. Bruno finds him, great first touch. Cross from Livramento, blocked by Justin. So much space, and they picked him out, but he couldn't deliver. The ball into the middle for Isak. Share to Trippier. Leicester 0, Newcastle 2. Trippier up to Isak, takes it wide right with his first touch. Holds off 2 defenders, plays it back up the line for Trippier, who can't control. And El Khanous bringing it away for Leicester City. Running at Share. Bilal El Khanous into the penalty area on the outside. Nick Pope makes an important save near post.
Yeah, save you'd expect him to make though. And his left foot just swung at it in a good height for the keeper. Just pushes it around the post.
He took off El Khanous. Impressive speed, and it was Isak's ball back that was too hot for Trippier to handle. Difficult one for Trippier. Almost played Leicester in. It would have been a curious way to give away a goal. El Khanous' corner kick, header from Livramento. Leicester, who had again left 3 outside the box, play it back into the penalty area. Tonali thumps it clear. Isak on the chase with Soumare. Isak putting the Leicester midfielder under pressure, and into the penalty box. Soumare does just enough to get it back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, he did well.
Newcastle 2-0 in front. Bruno blocks Thomas's ball up the pitch. Cody heads it back to Hermansen in the box. Goalkeeper with it on the 18-yard line, chipped forwards into the right channel. Newcastle get it back to Nick Pope. 2-0 in front, United. You're listening to BBC Radio Newcastle. And we're with you till 10:30 tonight, so we'll discuss the game after the final whistle. Here's Isak, beaten by Cody, who was stronger, won the physical battle there on this near side. Isak's had his attempt tonight, one shot into the side netting from the edge of the area, but not really been in it as an attacking force as an individual. He's on 24 goals this season. 25 last year. Bruno wins it from El Khanous, who wins it back from Bruno, playing it to Thomas in front of halfway. Daka to Justin. Leicester on the far side of the pitch now with Ndidi. Back to Justin. First time cross whipped over. It went across the front of goal and is kept in by Christensen on the near side in the corner. Back to El Khanous. Given away straight to Barnes. Again. The chance to break. Harvey Barnes strong running through the middle. Isak is away from Barnes' pass, left hand side. Barnes now in the centre. Isak taking on Cody. Isak shot blocked. It's come here to Joelinton. Cuts inside. Joelinton saved. Harvey Barnes puts the rebound in. Harvey Barnes returns to Leicester City and scores for Newcastle United. No celebration from Barnes. The break that he started, linking up with Isak, Joelinton involved. Barnes with a tap in after Hermansen spilled the shot. It's his 6th of the season and his first since December, and it had to be, didn't it? And it just makes matters worse for the home side. Their former player comes back to score, and it's now Leicester City 0, Newcastle United 3.
Yet again, they just shoot themselves in the foot. They just give the ball away. They've got nobody back. They get stretched. They're all over the place. I said it earlier, it could end up being very, very embarrassing for them.
Well, 3-0 2 seasons ago. Do you remember that 4-2 match behind up closed doors? Yeah, in the Steve Bruce era. 4-0 up, Nelly chucked it away. Here they are 3-0 up. in the 35th minute. And it is as well comfortable a lead, really. Reminiscent of the Ipswich match, but to be perfectly honest, you feel like Ipswich might have a little bit more, I don't know, energy about them, and than Leicester. Leicester just look like they've really lost their way. Ipswich at that point in December, just before Christmas,
3-0
had a
up,
bit of fight,
and we haven't had to do a great deal.
Here's a cross from Christensen and a header wide from Jamie Vardy from 10 yards out.
You know, we haven't had to do a great deal. We're 3-0 up. Just keep waiting for them to make mistakes, for them gaps to open up, and we're just clinical. And the good supporters leaving already.
Well, they're either going inside for half time or they're going home.
It's gone a little bit chilly. If I was them, I'd be going home.
Yeah. Night matches in April are not the warmest. There are some Newcastle fans in short sleeves, in replica tops. And you've got El Canouse out there, long sleeves and gloves for Leicester.
He's been the main culprit.
Giving it away. Here's Fass, who has sort of potential as well, the centre-back. Finds a teammate this time. El Canouse here, sliding Bruno, stops him. Murphy with two, Barnes with the other. And the two wide men providing the goals, but you may have missed some of the action tonight. Murphy's second goal came after Fabian Schär went for it from inside his own half to lob the keeper, smacked the crossbar. Murphy put the rebound in. Through ball here into the box.
Daka, he just looks so out of his depth, doesn't he?
Yeah, straight to Nick Pope. Fabian Schär at walking pace. Bruno comes to get it off him. Now they've got a runner through the middle. It's Livramento, but Bruno was closed down. Schär with it. Leicester standing off, apart from Vardy, who goes to engage. Byrne out to Barnes, under pressure from Justin, back to Byrne. Into the area to Pope. Trippier free, near side. Over it comes. And then forwards it goes. Cody header. Boubakary Soumaré. Do you remember back when Steve Bruce was the manager, January 2020, Newcastle tried to sign Boubakary Soumaré from, I think it was Lille, in quite a big deal, maybe about 30 million, and he turned them down. The player didn't want to come. Newcastle obviously weren't in the greatest shape at that time. I'm not sure they'd take him now. Wouldn't get into the midfield ahead of Tonali, Bruno and Joe Linton. Here's a Leicester cross, right hand side. Nick Pope on the stretch, back post, catches and lands on the floor, keeping hold of the ball. He made the move to Leicester. It's been an up and down time for them in his time at the club, but could have been a Newcastle player. Bruno Guimaraes, Isak on the move. Here he goes from Bruno's pass. Header from Thomas. Christensen on his chest, stooping, controls, gets it back to Cody. Soumaré here away from Bruno, carrying it up towards the halfway line, gives it straight to Fabian Schär. They want him to shoot. He's got to be careful here. Schär's nearly lost it. Just about holds on. Bruno to Barnes, went for the nutmeg on Christensen. Home team in possession of the ball. 5 minutes or so until we'll get the numbers board for half-time. Now here's Isak. Leicester have given it away. Isak, edge of the box, wide. Isak at the edge of the area, wide. Oh, he puts his arms out and looks up to the sky.
Oh.
And I don't think he can quite believe that he hasn't hit the target at the very least. Leicester bringing it into the centre. The ball was then diverted towards Isak. It was Justin under pressure from Barnes, and Isak wide of the post.
He wasn't really under pressure, he's just come inside and he's just knocked it blind.
Yeah.
How many times have they done that tonight? Just keep giving it away.
Well, the statistic, there'll be somebody monitoring that, how many times they've lost possession. I would like to know.
There's another one.
Trippier with an interception. Leicester have hit, oh my goodness!
They've hit both posts.
They've hit both posts. Well, doesn't that just sum everything up
offside
for Leicester City? And it's offside. A through ball into the area that came back to Patson Daka. Left-footed shot. It caught it cleanly. A true strike of the ball. Vardy was offside. It's the correct decision. He was about 20 yards out. It hit Nick Pope's left-hand post, rolled along the goal line, hit the base of the other.
Bounced straight into his arms.
You got a feel for Leicester?
No.
No sympathy from you. Newcastle 3-0 up. So, yeah, going to get the numbers board shortly for the additional time at the end of the first half. Isak to Joe Linton, now on halfway. Murphy. Isak, 25 yards out, back through to Murphy in the area. Murphy's cross into the middle, caught low down by Hermansen. BBC Radio Newcastle. WhatsApp number for your messages at half time: 08000 321 333. That's 08000 321 333. Remember to put BBC at the start. If you prefer to send a text message, you also need to start it with BBC, and that number is 81333. Cody along the edge of the Leicester box to Fass. Daka back to Justin. He's got an England cap, James Justin. Played once for his country. Now forwards up the right-hand side. Daka blocked by Byrne. Corner on the Leicester right. Thomas jogging over towards the Newcastle away section and preparing to deliver the ball. Well, they've got four players: Justin, Fass, Cody, and indeed next to the penalty spot, Vardy and Daka in the 6-yard box. Pope with a punch, his right fist, to clear the ball out to the left wing. Christensen looking for space to cross. Trippier blocks. And it's a throw. Now Christensen's got the ball. They're waiting for Thomas to come running over. Having taken the corner, now he wants a different ball to take a long throw. 15 defeats in 17 before tonight for Leicester. Newcastle 3-0 up here, 44th minute, headed away from the throw. El Kanous sends in a low cross, and Newcastle get it clear, and Isak to Bruno.
No, he won't run it.
And Bruno's held off his man and played in Murphy. Now on the touchline, Murphy just keeps it in, tries to cross, but it was never going to reach Isak. It didn't bend back in, and it went over the crossbar.
We're 3-0 up. We haven't really broke sweat. It's been a real comfortable 45 minutes.
BBC Radio Newcastle with live commentary on every single Newcastle United match. 2 for Murphy, 1 for Barnes. 3-0. Thomas between 2 United players, back to his goalkeeper. 7 straight Premier League home matches before tonight. Leicester City without scoring. obviously all ending in defeat. No goalless draws in that run. Christensen with a header from a long ball forwards. Dan Burn gets up. Newcastle have it with Livramento, who wants to attack and sees space to run into. A minimum of 2 minutes additional time. Livramento towards Barnes, cut out by Fass at the edge of the box. Samare back to Fass, couldn't go forwards through the middle of midfield. Thomas here running into trouble. Murphy is with him and gets a bit lucky, doesn't he?
Very lucky.
Free kick. In additional time. The end of the first half. Mads Hermansen straight onto the head of Kieran Trippier as far as El Canoes. Bruno wins the challenge. Murphy into central midfield for Joelinton. One last attack for Newcastle. Joelinton pursued by Daka, but Joelinton just bigger and stronger. Finds Barnes. Nice turn from Barnes. Stopped by Fass next to the centre circle. Leicester get players back. Newcastle move it quickly from the free kick. Burn to Bruno and then Tonali, centre circle. Sandro Tonali's got it again. Inside it comes to Dan Burn. 30 seconds remaining. Fabian Schär now to Joelinton, square to Tonali. Fast being teased by the Newcastle fans, but his similar haircut to Fabrizio Collicini and not being as good a defender as him. Livramento to Barnes, back again, up to Joelinton. No,
offside.
There is an offside flag. It was a lovely move in fairness, but Joelinton was ahead of the last Leicester defender when the ball was played, and there is the half-time whistle. And there are the Leicester City boos from the home fans. A really tough night for them, but comfortable for...
That was Mark Stutel speaking after defeat for the Newcastle Eagles. Second half is about to get underway at the King Power, so we will go straight back to Ando and Razor after this.
Total Sport North East.
Matthew Raisbeck and Steve Howie.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
It's still John Anderson. We haven't made a half-time substitution of our own.
I wish it was Steve Howie.
Why do you not want to watch 45 more minutes of this? Newcastle 3-0 up. Leicester have made 2 changes at half-time. Second half about 20 seconds old. And Newcastle with possession in midfield. Tonali, it's the same United 11. Ball is with Leicester at the back. White and green, third kit, shooting towards the goal at the left, close to where the away fans are. 3-0 through Murphy's first half double and a third from Harvey Barnes.
It's an awful lot more blue seats, isn't it?
Some of the Leicester fans who went inside at half time haven't come back. Yeah. Well, I hope whatever they do with the remainder of their evening, they have more fun than they did in the first 45 minutes. It's rough when it's your team that goes through this kind of thing.
Yeah, you've got to feel for them in a way, haven't you?
Long ball forward from Leicester goalkeeper Hermansen. Schär and now Bruno. Away by Leicester. Vardy trying to get in. Pope picks it up and lands on the floor. Quick overarm throw out to Livramento. Newcastle on the attack. Oh, it's a strong run from Livramento, and he's still going up to the edge of the area. Free kick for the challenge on him from Justin, who gets a yellow card from referee Rob Jones.
Yeah, I don't think you can have too many complaints. Strong, powerful run, wasn't it? It's just bigger, stronger, quicker than the Leicester players.
He is so good at left back.
Yeah,
he attacks so well.
Yeah, it's unreal, really, isn't it? You know, you don't see him do as much of that as at right back, do you?
Well, Leicester are setting up the wall for the free kick. 3 players in it. Newcastle, it's decision time. Who takes it?
Well, you've got Trippier, you've got Barnes, you've got Schär, Barnes has walked away. So it's between Trippier and Cher.
They could roll it inside for somebody to stick their foot through it.
Livramento's square.
Yeah.
Dan Burns gone back post.
Trippier could just knock it to Cher. It's left of centre.
Roll Barnes in.
Barnes is just inside the box. Trippier instead has tried to curl it, and it's too high. And his last goal, Kieran Trippier, was on the 3rd of February last year.
They left Barnes all on his own down the side of the wall.
Spoiled for choice there, Newcastle with options. So more than a year since Trippier scored the last of his 4 Newcastle goals. It remains 3-0 tonight in the 49th minute. United Pope, Trippier, Cher, Byrne, Livramento, Bruno, Tonali, Joelinton, Murphy, Isak, Barnes. Vardy for Leicester. Right corner of the penalty area. Goes on the outside. Chips it into the middle, straight to Nick Pope. Didn't get hold of that cross at all, Jamie Vardy. Might have taken a deflection. But Newcastle with the ball.
Didn't he? Just clipped it, didn't he?
The bench: Dubravka, Ruddy, Wilson, Target, Kraft, Osula, Longstaff, Miley and Neve. It's an unchanged starting 11. Gordon's not in the squad, and Willock misses out tonight with concussion. Newcastle have surrendered possession as they play out from the back. Leicester then lose it, and Cher finds Murphy, who gets tackled by Vardy far side. Murphy, in fairness to him, the ball was smashed into him, and now Leicester with a cross from the left, which Dan Byrne puts behind. So he didn't really have much of an opportunity to control it, in fairness to Murphy. And then El Khanous on the outside. The cross, which Vardy helped on, was put behind by Byrne. And this corner in the 50th minute. Referee's whistle has gone. Bilal El Khanous was ready to take it. Now he gets the go-ahead. And it's clipped into the middle of the 6-yard box. Alexander Isak with the all-important touch for Newcastle. Flicking out to the near side. One of the Leicester substitutes, Facundo Buonanotte, delivers a cross, helped on by a Leicester head.
It wasn't the worst help on, was it?
Goal kick.
Yeah, nobody gambled back post. It's a flat ball played in by Buonanotte. The two all just caught on their heels. Nobody wanted to gamble.
The 2 Leicester changes: Facundo Buonanotte for Victor Christiansen, and Steffi Mavididi has come on for...
Yeah, he's gone to a straight back 4, hasn't he?
So Leicester now, Hermansen in goal, back 4 of Justin, Fass, Cody and Thomas. Holding midfielders are Soumare's just won a header there, and Ndidi. Vardy's offside, he's at centre forward with Mavididi on the left, El Khanous in the hole, and on the right, Buonanotte, the Argentinian international, 20 years of age, who's on loan from Brighton. BBC Radio Newcastle, 51 minutes on the clock. Boosting the goal difference with a 3-0 advantage. They increase the lead, or it stays at 3. Eddie Howe might look to give a couple of players a rest and get some minutes into some other players who are on the bench. Here they work a nice move on the right. Murphy doing well. Bruno likewise. Isak with the cross, aiming it towards Barnes, who acknowledges the intent and the attempt from Isak. It'll be a corner kick though for Newcastle in front of the away fans.
Yeah, first time we've really got into their half in the second half. Throw the big boys forward. Trippier's going to cross to that far side to take this corner kick.
Newcastle have kept 3 players outside of the box. Trippier taking the corner. Byrne, Barnes, Joelinton, Isak, Cher and Bruno all in the middle. Trippier drives it towards Byrne, who heads it across Skull. Leicester with a header, and then a clearance that doesn't really go that far. Tonali with a header to help it on. Trippier now back on halfway. Plays a ball towards Pope, and the goalkeeper sends it up the pitch. Chested down by Cody. And Ndidi's might have caught Bruno. Could be accidental. Bruno's holding his face and down. It's one we'd need to see again. Referee stopped the game after a few seconds because Bruno is holding his face. Therefore, it's a head injury of some sort.
It's all right. Look, he gets up now.
2 members of the Newcastle medical staff come on. The referee was close enough to that to have a decent view of the incident, and indeed he don't think there's anything nasty in that in terms of malicious intent, is there? His arm has caught Bruno on the cheek, left side of his face, but it's probably the sort of thing that just happens in a midfield duel. Ruud van Nistelrooy's called over 2 of his players, Jamie Vardy and James Justin. He's having a word with those 2 as Bruno goes off on the far side to then come back on. He's going to be all right. Newcastle's captain. Leicester 0, United 3 on BBC Radio Newcastle in the second half. Bruno will be off the pitch for 30 seconds or so. The referee calls him back on, so they've got 10 at the minute. Fass at the back for Leicester, and now Cody. His second season as a Leicester player. He'd been at Wolves and had a season on loan to Everton. Bruno back on. Home side with possession in Newcastle territory. Up towards Vardy. Won there by Fabian Schär. Now Livramento. Offside is the call. So Livramento's forward run has to end because the flag is up.
Vardy was offside.
Assistant on the near side, Ian Husson, with the red and yellow flag. Now Livramento's made a run up the pitch and they find him with a diagonal ball. Buonanotte switched off there. Livramento found the space, back to Joe Linton, and Schär in the centre circle. Murphy wide right, close to the touchline. Takes it back, gives it to Trippier. He passes it to Schär. Now Tonali helping it on. Caught late, Tonali. Ball was just going back to Leicester, so Newcastle will prefer the free kick. Lewis Miley, Sean Longstaff and Sean Neve warming up. Callum Wilson goes to join them in the 56th minute. Only 4 Premier League wins all season, Leicester. They've beaten Bournemouth and West Ham here in their 2 home wins. But 15 points from safety. Trippier's free kick from halfway, helped on by Schär at the edge of the penalty area. Cleared as far as Livramento, 30 yards out, looked for Barnes, intercepted by Justin. Buonanotte. Oh, good run, dropped his shoulder, got away from Tonali. Helped on to Vardy, and now to the left wing to the substitute, Steffi Mavididi. Goes backwards with the pass to Thomas. And inside away from Murphy, but it's not getting past Tonali. Leicester have it again. Fass in the centre circle. Newcastle 3-0 ahead. Murphy on 2 minutes, and then in the 11th minute, Barnes' goal came in the 34th. All the way back from Ruud van Nistelrooy's team to Hermansen, looking for Vardy in the air, beats Schär to the header. Livramento covering, back to Pope. El Canous closes down, Pope away. Barnes keeps it in for Joe Linton, back to Byrne. They've done well there, Newcastle. Tonali to Bruno. Isak on the move up ahead. They give it to Murphy, a back heel to Trippier. Little flick from Murphy. Trippier still got it up the line to Bruno, keeping possession well. Murphy with another flick, and then a foul on Soumaré. Whistle goes. Leicester restart the match quickly. Hermansen closed down by Isak. Oh, given away to Livramento. Tonali just outside the box. The through ball from Tonali blocked. Went to give it back to Livramento, who'd carried on his forward run. Now it's with Joelinton. Fabian Schär backpedaling. Middle of his own half. Trippier to Joelinton, closed down by Buonanotte. Given to Pope. Burn free on the near side, receives it from the goalkeeper. Up the line to Barnes, just behind halfway for Newcastle. On to Livramento, back to Burn. He flicks it inside, and Ndidi's got it. Beating Joelinton to the ball. The pass from Ndidi.
Dear, oh dear.
Just kept in on the touchline, far side from Mavididi. He's made his way into the box. Livramento flicks the cross away, collected by Justin. Blocked by Barnes. Leicester still looking for a goal. Here's a dangerous cross. That's a good ball in from El Kanous. They've kept it in on the far side. Mavididi into the side, netting off a deflection.
Great ball in, wasn't it?
2 months since they've scored. 4 months since they scored in the league at home. Leicester with a couple of moments there. Now they have a corner kick. Lewis Miley comes back to the bench. Might be the first Newcastle player to come on. Looks like they are preparing him to enter the field. Some final instructions as the corner comes in high to the back post. Header from Bruno in front of Cody. Barnes chasing, trying to get to the ball with Buonanotte, who missed out in that battle but then recovered. And they've kept it left side of midfield. Leicester back to halfway. Newcastle still 3-0 ahead. Cody next to the centre circle into the feet of Mavididi.
Here's the goalkeeper coming out to play again.
It's a long way out. And Ndidi here, he's in a bit of bother. Joelinton on his shoulder. Just gets it back to Cody. Isak closes down the keeper. Samare facing his own goal. Bruno at his back. They're out on the far touchline there with Thomas. And now El Kanous taking it back into the corner. El Kanous comes in. Chips the pass forwards to Cody. Played against Trippier. And then it comes to another Leicester shirt. They look for Vardy on the stretch. Can't get there. Burn out to Livramento. Space for Newcastle potentially. Livramento closed down by Buonanotte. Inside to Joelinton, away from Ndidi, and now Isak onto Livramento in the penalty area. No offside. Livramento to Isak, left side of the box. Joelinton in the D. Joelinton tackled by the recovering Mavididi, who got back well. Tonali with it though for Newcastle, who have possession, but the match has been stopped by referee Rob Jones because Leicester have Buonanotte rolling around, and it
I think Tonali stood on his hand.
Yeah,
no intent. It's just slipped, and it's just one of those footballing incidents.
painful for Buonanotte. No sign of that potential Newcastle substitution. We're now into the final half an hour, 62 minutes. Referee lets Newcastle restart the match. Joelinton back to Schär on halfway. Murphy skips in off the right touchline up to Isak. Helped wide right now to Bruno. Bruno's cross. Barnes header. The defender got in front of him, and Barnes has committed a foul.
Brave, was he? He didn't really fancy it. Justin did well, but he's got to come powering over the top of him. Oh, he ducks into it, doesn't he? Yeah. No, I'm not having that.
Well, Justin
don't fancy that one.
Definitely wanted it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Got the header, got caught by Barnes in the back after.
Yeah. Had a turtleneck, didn't he?
Newcastle throw from the Leicester free kick. And now Lewis Miley takes off his yellow bib. Header on there from Isak towards Bruno. Barnes looking to get involved, but tidy play by Ndidi. Sean Longstaff's going to come on as well. He's not seen much football, Longstaff, in recent months. Used as a substitute, aside from in FA Cup matches, some of them anyway. Trippier with a header to Buonanotte on halfway. Protects the ball. Sumare to his left in central midfield. 3-0 Newcastle. Thomas combining with Mavididi, but the return ball is too strong. Miley and Longstaff not going to come on just yet. Newcastle play on, or share with a forward ball. Progressive pass up to Joelinton. Leicester looking open and stretched again. Barnes on the near side, now in the final third. Inside to Joelinton's got a man at his shoulder, back through towards Barnes, but he couldn't take it. And Livramento had held his run. So both players in the attack on the near side unable to get on the end of that pass. Double change. Not going to see Callum Wilson just yet. Still got Osula, Kraft, Target and Neve as outfield players. Joelinton gets a breather. Lewis Miley is his replacement, and Bruno is coming off to be replaced by Sean Longstaff, and the captain's armband goes to Kieran Trippier. 65 minutes played.
Yeah, we said at half-time, didn't we, that it was ideal if Joelinton's feeling that knee, give him a bit of a breather. Guimaraes likewise. They haven't had strenuous nights. It's been one of the more comfortable nights for them, to be quite honest.
This is the point in the match at which Eddie Howe has used players from the bench. 25 minutes of normal time remaining here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Remember, Total Sport will be back tomorrow. It's on every weekday evening between 6 and 8. All the latest from Newcastle and Sunderland. You can phone in to have your say on both clubs and listen live or listen back to any shows you might have missed through the BBC Sounds app anywhere in the world. Search for Total Sport Northeast. Free kick for handball against Vardy. Livramento and Barnes on the near side. Leicester have it back, and then Miley thought he'd won it and then said he was pulled. Referee says no. Fast back to Hermansen from the near side. Goalkeeper plays it around Isak to Cody.
Second half's been like a practice match, hasn't it? There's been no intensity about it. We're quite happy to let them have the ball.
Awkward back pass towards Cody. Isak was close. He gets it safely to his goalkeeper. Newcastle push up the pitch. Hermansen gone for the ball to feet to Buonanotte, who's moving around. He started off on the right, now he's on the left. Al-Khanous has come to the near side. Leicester changed their formation at half-time, went to a back four. Tonali to Longstaff, and now Trippier switches it from right to left centre-back. Byrne to the impressive Livramento. Miley takes it away out wide, but runs it out of play. Ndidi back to his goalkeeper now. Leicester, I don't know if they look better with a back four. They probably haven't given the ball away as much, as often as they did in the first half. Newcastle in a comfortable lead through Murphy's double and Barnes with a tap in, all before half-time. 7 away wins in the league so far this season for Newcastle. Now given away by Hermansen. Miley, edge of the area, still got it. Miley under pressure, needs some support, got it from Livramento. Livramento looking for another white shirt, back to Fabian Schär. He's thinking about hitting it. He does hit it, and the goalkeeper makes a save.
What's the keeper doing again?
Not sure it was quite in the corner from Schär, but having hit the bar from inside his own half in the first half, He's obviously in the mood, but Hermansen on the ball, edge of the box, just gave it straight to Miley.
Crazy.
And now Mabadidi on the far side, out off a Newcastle player. I thought it might have been a Newcastle throw. It wasn't, it was Leicester's ball. Cross midfield to Buonanotte. Foul on Buonanotte from Byrne. Left side of the centre circle. Leicester 0, Newcastle 3, moving up to 5th with what would be away win number 8 this season in the 16th away fixture. Their Premier League record for away wins is 9 in a single campaign, which they managed in 2001-2002 when they finished 4th, and in their first Premier League season, which was 93-94, Newcastle's first in the Premier League, but they played more matches because there were more teams in the division then. Livramento under pressure, facing his own goal. Back to Cher, Longstaff looking for Tonali. Leicester have intercepted. And Soumare, 35 yards out, central position. Plays it to the left to Thomas, back inside to the French midfielder Soumare. Justin drifts into the middle from full-back. Wilson, Osula and Targett are warming up now for United. 20 minutes to play. Fass straight to Cher, up to Isak. Now he's going to carry it and has got Murphy to the right. Might play him in for the hat-trick. Isak to Murphy, could get it back again. Murphy just inside the box. Miley, it's run under his boot. Kept alive by Barnes on the 18-yard line. Tonali here, left of centre. Barnes on the corner of the box. Livramento plays it against Buonanotte, and there's an offside flag up, and they made a bit of a mess of that.
Yeah, they did. Got sloppy, didn't it? It was just sloppiness, because it's been so easy.
Latest stats that we have in terms of possession: Leicester 55, Newcastle 45. Might have been more in Leicester's favour in terms of having more of the ball in the first half, but Newcastle comfortably ahead. United 13 shots to Leicester's 4. Leicester 7 corners, Newcastle with 2. I think it's going to be Callum Wilson time, and maybe an opportunity for William Osula as well. Jason Tyndall speaking to both of them. BBC Radio Newcastle with you till 10:30 tonight as Leicester give the ball away again. Cher to Tonali. Byrne in the box, right-footed pass swept out to Livramento, and drags it across his body and drives up the pitch now into the Leicester half. Out to Barnes, away from Buonanotte. Good skill from Barnes, through towards Isak. Cody comes across and covers well, and in the right corner, Cody with a clearance. Dan Byrne on his chest towards Lewis Miley. Newcastle trying to stay on the attack. Miley back towards Livramento, but that's gone out, and it's a Leicester throw. This is the chant we can hear in the background for William Osula. They like his personality. Let's see what he can do when he comes on. Callum Wilson first for Alexander Isak. 72 minutes. What do you make of Isak tonight?
Been all right. He had that one chance, didn't he, that he dragged wide, and you could see the disappointment on his face. He's been all right. He's been lively.
I suppose the fact he hasn't scored means that the speculation surrounding him might quieten down for a few days, because every time he does score...
Well, no, you know what it'll be, because he hasn't scored, he's carrying a knock.
Well, the manager did say he was carrying a knock.
That's why he didn't score.
Jacob Murphy will not get a hat-trick, but he has taken his tally for the season to 8. Half of them have been against Leicester, having scored twice at St James's Park in the 4-0 win in mid-December. So Murphy off, Osula on, and Wilson replaces Isak up front. And I'm sure Callum Wilson would love to find the net in the Premier League again. It's getting on for a full year. since his last league goal. It's his 14th appearance in all competitions this season. He scored in the FA Cup at Birmingham. Share back to Pope from a long Leicester ball upfield. Byrne here. Just at the left of Newcastle's box. Wilson backing into Cody, trying to help it on for the run of Osula. Barnes has gone to the right wing. Osula is left wing. Wilson at centre forward. That's how Newcastle are set up at the moment. Pass to Buonanotte, back to Justin. Gave him absolutely no chance with that.
Just
pass.
leaded it on him, didn't he?
Wilson can't hold it, edge of the area. Osula intercepts. Cody's ball out from the back. William Osula on the outside.
Oh dear.
Didn't get the finish right. Beats his fist off the ground in frustration. Leicester yet again misplacing a pass out from the back from their own box. Cody, Osula on the stretch got it. Took on fast, went on the outside. But missed the target.
Didn't he?
Bilal El Khanous and James Justin off for Leicester. On comes the experienced Portuguese international Ricardo Pereira, but the cheers are for Leicester City's number 93, 15-year-old Jeremy Monga, who comes on for his debut in the 75th minute. Might be something nice for the Leicester fans tonight, something positive to remember this one by. And he is a player born in 2009, normally an under 21 or an under 18. Newcastle still in their 3-0 lead as Osula receives it wide on the left, can't find Livramento, throw on halfway. Free kick for a foul by Tonali on Buonanotte, taken quickly, back over halfway to Ndidi and back to Fass. Osula's going to chase down the pass back to the goalkeeper. This is Osula's first appearance since the 2-0 defeat at Liverpool at the end of February. And his 16th in a Newcastle shirt. Clearance from Cher from a Leicester ball up this near side. Wilson battling for it, and Ndidi not convincing. Fass covering. Keeps the home team in possession. Why do you think they haven't been able to increase the lead, John Anderson, in the second half?
They've just settled for what they've got, basically. They've just sat in. He's made the substitutions. Don't do anything silly, and you won the game.
Thomas miscontrols, throw for Newcastle on
Don't
halfway.
get any injuries. Preserve energy. That's exactly what they've done. They haven't broke sweat.
They tried to find Wilson from that throw, but home side have won it back. Fast to Sumare. And here he is, Jeremy Monga. Plays the ball forwards, and Ndidi is there, but so is Dan Byrne, who clears. Osula intercepts. Did well to intercept from Sumare, couldn't keep it under control. Leicester play it forwards. Byrne tackled by Ricardo Pereira, and Leicester City have won a corner. Still chasing a first goal for 2 months. And a first in 8 Premier League matches. Newcastle 3-0 ahead. And everybody has come back to defend as Buonanotte lifts it in to the back of the box. Longstaff with an important header, and it's a corner on the far side. 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp, that's our number. Put BBC at the start if you want to send a message for Ando for our post-match discussion until 10:30 tonight. Or on X, we are at BBC Newcastle. out-swinging left-footed corner. Buonanotte into a crowd of players, fast, and then cleared by Newcastle. Livramento, the player that got rid. Hermansen comes towards halfway. Half of his team are still offside. Waits for them to drop back in, lifts it high to the near side. Livramento with a header. Buonanotte battling for it with Miley, and it's a Leicester throw on the near side. Monga back to Buonanotte. Ricardo Pereira finds Monga, and the 15-year-old gets into space, but Livramento comes across just to see the ball behind.
Yeah, prepared to have a run at the minute. 15 years of age.
Nick Pope walks the ball to the 6-yard line. Jason Tindall having a word in the ear of Eddie Howe. They don't really observe that rule, do they? That only one member of staff is allowed to be pitch side. Mavididi for Leicester. Tackle comes in. And the blue shirts keep the ball. To midfield to Sumare. Ricardo Pereira onto Buonanotte. He's been sprightly, lively, hasn't he? Now the referee's got in the way and ended up impeding the Leicester effort to attack.
Yellow card, that.
He apologised, Rob Jones.
I didn't mean it, doesn't matter, it's still a yellow card.
Mavididi wants to go on the outside of Trippier. Buonanotte wins a corner. They probably should have started with Buonanotte. He's got something about him. The Brighton loanee. 80th minute on BBC Radio Newcastle. Forwards comes Thomas into the box. It's a right-footed corner. Pope stretching, punches. Wilson comes out to the near side to win the ball and hold it up, and now there might be the opportunity to break. Wilson knocks it around his man, but there's a covering player, Ricardo Pereira. A slaloming run. He's got past 3 Newcastle players looking for Vardy. He's come over to Mavididi. Ricardo Pereira on the left-hand side of the box. Newcastle make the block. Mavididi with it again, wide of the penalty area, out off bounds for a throw.
Great run, wasn't it?
There was a time when Ricardo Pereira was absolutely flying, one of the best in the Premier League, but he's had some bad injuries. It's only his 7th appearance of the season.
They haven't had enough of that. Somebody who's prepared to pick it up and run with a little bit of intensity.
Mavididi controls it far side, almost lost it to Barnes. Now a challenge on Tonali from Mavididi that's left Tonali rolling around, and the play continues. Referee Rob Jones happy with that one. Tonali stayed down, and Didi out of play off Byrne. Corner for Leicester. Newcastle not happy. Tonali holding his left shin just above the ankle joint. It's the studs that have gone in and caught him on the follow through. That's how he's been hurt. Anything in that for you?
No.
Leicester 0, Newcastle 3. They need to get someone on to have a look at Tonali. Still down, rubbing his leg. He's pulled his sock down. In case you were wondering, we've not been notified of any VAR check in terms of graphics being put on the big screens or anything. Mavididi caught Tonali there with his studs on the follow through. It's a painful one. Referee Rob Jones didn't have a problem with it. Clock ticks towards the 84th minute. There'll be a Leicester City corner when the match resumes. As a former player, and obviously someone who in your game had to tackle a lot, but looking at the way modern football is, get into the mind of the referee and what he would have felt when he saw that from his position on the pitch.
So he was right on top of it, wasn't he, the referee? It wasn't as if he's a long way away from it. He obviously seen nothing wrong with it. VAR having it, well, you would imagine VAR have looked at it and haven't.
Eddie Howe speaking to the fourth official, Tony Harrington, seemed to suggest because of the studs it should have been something that received a punishment. Leicester, dodgy back pass, Wilson chasing Ricardo Pereira, and it's short from the defender, but the goalkeeper just gets there well out of his box on the near side. Long ball forwards, Nick Pope's got it. Callum Wilson was putting the effort in. Maybe Wilson of a couple of years ago would have been on to the end of that. Now Trippier giving the ball away. It's
got sloppy, haven't we?
Contagious. 3-0. It's been that way since the 34th minute. Tonali back on, has won the ball back. He's limping. Now Longstaff's been fouled by Buonanotte right under the nose of the referee in the middle of the Magpies half of the pitch. If you want to send us a text message about the match, anything in the game or the race for Europe, 81333, start your message with BBC. Byrne to Miley, and back to Dan Byrne from the near side. Miley at the left of central midfield. More Leicester fans are leaving. To be fair, it wasn't full at kickoff. Here's a ball from Tonali. Wilson takes it. The first touch allowed Thomas the opportunity to intercept. And now back to the goalkeeper from Fass. Hermansen puts his boot through it. Scher puts his head onto the ball on halfway. Ricardo Pereira straight to Sean Longstaff. William Osula. And now it comes towards Miley, who fouls Ricardo Pereira. Osula got just about away from one defender, couldn't get past a second. Hermansen then lifts it over him as he closes him down on the 6-yard line. Wout Fass inside to Samare, Longstaff with him, back to the goalkeeper, Longstaff putting the pressure on. Hermansen away, Byrne with a header that goes out. Emil Kraft coming on in Newcastle's 5th and final change in the 87th minute for Kieran Trippier. 3-0 to Eddie Howe's team. You mentioned a few minutes ago, Ando, that you thought they'd been a bit sloppy, but overall, how well have they managed?
Game management's been good second half. Game was over at half time. It was all about just seeing it out, not picking any injuries up, not doing anything silly. It's exactly what they've done. Leicester haven't had enough.
Ricardo Pereira winning a free kick after colliding with Osula following the throw. They go backwards with the ball. Thomas into midfield, given away. Now Wilson. They say handball Newcastle against Thomas, but the referee not interested. Fass on the edge of the penalty area. And indeed he tried to help it up the line to Monga, the substitute, but it's out. And Livramento with this throw to the centre of midfield. Longstaff's got 4 blue shirts around him. Back to Scher. and move to space where Emil Kraft picks it up and drives forwards. Kraft into the final third, rolls in Barnes, Wilson in the box, Osula as well. Barnes on the outside away from Thomas. Barnes cuts it back straight at a blue shirt. It was Thomas who got up and recovered. A disappointing cross, having got into such a good position, Barnes, after that Newcastle break. Still 3-0. Throw taken, and then they win another, about in line with the penalty spot. 2 minutes of normal time on the clock.
Second half's been a non-event, hasn't it? Not a great deal has happened in it from either side, to be fair.
Tonali receives it, and it goes backwards off a Leicester player. They prevented the corner just. It's another throw, close to the corner flag. Emil Kraft's got the ball. Sula stands behind the penalty spot. Wilson comes to the near side. Barnes takes it. It's a good first touch. Couldn't find anybody with a pass though. Vardy here for Leicester, through the legs of his own teammate Mavididi, and out far side of the pitch. Taken the throw yet, Newcastle. Referees telling them to get on with it. They give it away to Wilfred Ndidi. Connor Cody to Ricardo Pereira. About Fass edge of the box. Sula was straight onto him. Fass manages to find a teammate. And Livramento sliding in to stop 15-year-old Monga making his run up the right wing. It's going to be job done for Newcastle United this evening. Tonali adjudged to a foul, Buonanotte, a soft one in front of the referee in the middle of midfield. Back to Cody, and now Thomas and the goalkeeper in the D. Numbers board says there'll be a minimum of 5 additional minutes. Leicester 0, Newcastle 3. Monga with a nice turn and drop of the shoulder. Ricardo Pereira into the box. Byrne comes across. Block challenge with Ndidi. Corner kick again. If Leicester do manage to score for the first time in a long time, they'll be doing it in front of a home section that is
empty,
half full. So most of them have gone, those that came to the match tonight. Buonanotte, the corner kick taker, driven into the middle of the box. And headed just across the face of goal. Vardy near post.
Voss, wasn't it?
Oh, Fass made the run as well. Vardy in there was one of them. They do look very different, but they both ran to the ball. Who was it? Oh, it was Fass just behind Vardy. Nick Pope with a long ball up the pitch. Headed back into Newcastle's half by Ndidi. Byrne up the line. Osula heads it on beyond Ricardo Pereira, cleared by Fass. Header there from Buonanotte, and Vardy to Mavididi, left side of the attack, straight at Tonali, intercepted it well. Miley's then looked for Longstaff and given it away, and Buonanotte with a snapshot.
I'll take your word, that was a shot.
It's a long way off target. And a few more home fans make their way towards the exits. 93rd minute. Murphy's first half double and Barnes' 6th of the season. Going to give them 3 points. Do they have time to get one more? Livramento, long forward ball. Cody comes across and gives it away to Harvey Barnes. Wilson in the attack to the right, Osula to the left. Barnes plays in Wilson, who drives it across into the 6-yard box, and it rebounds off Barnes and goes over. Might have taken a touch off the defender on the way into the centre. That's a quick late break from Newcastle and an opportunity
cause all
missed.
their own problems though, don't they? Just keep giving it away in ridiculous areas.
I'm not sure it actually touched the defender. It went underneath the boot of one of the Leicester players there, but came at Barnes in a manner that he wasn't really expecting, so couldn't adjust his feet.
He was at full tilt as well, wasn't he?
94th minute. Kraft winning a header, and now Cher to Byrne, plays it short to Livramento, up the line to Lewis Miley, looking for Osula, stretching. It's touched the Danish forward and gone out. Hermansen to Cody. A tough night for Leicester. They'll be glad when it's over. Kraft here looked like he was second favourite to Mavididi, but he recovered very well. Good turn of pace from Emil Kraft on halfway. Dan Byrne in the final minute here on BBC Radio Newcastle. 3-0 up. Livramento onto Osula. Infield away from Ricardo Pereira. Good from Osula, and he's overrun it.
It's like a runaway train, isn't he?
Fass made the challenge.
Oh, well played, young man.
And that's Monga there, holding off a few Newcastle players. Tonali then with a challenge in the centre circle, and Barnes driving forwards. Barnes still going. Kraft on the outside. Kraft, oh, it's a great ball. Great ball in from Kraft. And was there a touch? Well, it's going to stay in. Osula was going to leave it. It's in the corner. Osula's eventually retrieved it. Miley closed down. Livramento, 10 seconds remaining. Tonali in the middle. Beats his man, Sandro Tonali. Oh, he's put it wide from the edge of the area. Probably should have scored, but it doesn't matter because it's 3 points for Newcastle United as Rob Jones blows the final whistle.